Hello, how are you all doing? I am Tyra Omilade, your goddess guru, your sister friend, and I love helping women align with their life purpose using the power of ancient wisdom and the goddess centered lifestyle. And so, yeah, I just wanted to come on and debrief on Mercury Retrograde. Oh my goddess, it's over. It ended at 12:38, I think, Eastern time. And I'm telling you, I've been counting down to this Mercury retrograde ending. It's been a little bit of a different one. My glasses look dark because I've been outside and they're transitional. So I'm gonna take them off because it's throwing me off. See, my glasses look dark. But yeah, anywho, it's been an interesting Mercury retrograde. So I just wanted to come on and share a little bit about what's going on with me with Mercury retrograde and to see what's happening with you all. Mercury retrograde actually lasts about 9 weeks. So we're really just ending week 6. I mean, yeah, week 6. Hey, Oyayinka, Alafia. Happy holidays to you, Queen. It's good to see you. Um, yeah, I'm just on here talking about Mercury retrograde and how odd it has been. And, but yeah, we're at week 6, so we have 3 more weeks to go because Mercury has to retrace its steps. The degree that it came from was the 6th of Sagittarius, and right now it's on 20 of Scorpio. So it's going to now go direct and go back to that 6th degree. And then once it's past that degree, we're done with Mercury retrograde. Hey, how are you, CV? Good to see you, sis. Um, the first part of Mercury retrograde was in um, Sagittarius. And I'm going to be honest with you all. Mercury retrograde and the Mercury retrograde ended or has ended today on what is called my ascendant. So my ascendant point is 20 of Scorpio. Whew. Wow. As an astrologer, there's always something to learn. And hello to Instagram. Hi, Nurture by C Studios. Hello, Candy Sense 4. How are you? Um, so yeah, the ascendant point is you. It's where you entered into this world, into the physical world. It's the moment of birth. Okay. And so to have Mercury end its retrograde there, but see, it actually started its retrograde there in a way because it met Mars on my ascendant point. And so this is this is felt very different. So I don't fully remember the what let me see here. When did Mercury go into Sagittarius? And then that's going to let me know how much of this was the scorpionic energy. Because for me, this Mercury retrograde, I feel like Mercury retrograde has had me in the dark. Man, it's had me in the dark. It's had me down deep in the belly. Y'all know I talk about the heroine's journey. It's had me down in Hades, baby. I have really struggled. I have been on the struggle bus with this Mercury retrograde. All right, Tara, focus. So Mercury went into that. I just need to know, when did Mercury go back into bloop? Mercury went into November. So it started November 9th and it went back into Scorpio on the 18th. Okay. So yeah, I'll be honest with you. I guess for me, Mercury, one of the things that was really interesting about Mercury retrograde was I made a decision to travel via airplane during Mercury retrograde. And I was a little bit freaked out about it. The trip in was during what we call Mercury, what do you call it? Storm period, which where Mercury is very slowed down. And do y'all know I had not one issue, not one issue. And so this is why it's kind of like, it's proof for me. We have to wait and see what is this Mercury retrograde about. And the other thing about it is when you know that Mercury retrograde is coming, it's like, don't play. Like for me, I got to the airport early and I checked and triple checked and quadruple checked to make sure that I had my passport and, everything that I needed. I did everything. I will say when I flew into Spain, I did get searched. There's a little joke that I have that sometimes when I travel internationally, I run into little faux pas. Like the first time as an adult that I traveled, I went to um, Canada. My husband and I wanted to go on a trip and we went to Canada. I had never done any international travel. There was maybe there was an internet, but it was very new. I feel like an idiot saying it now, but it's just what the truth was for me. I didn't know I needed a passport. And so we get into Canada, and at the time it wasn't super serious. It was pre 9/11. So had I had two forms of ID, but for some reason I couldn't find my voter registration card. Um, so yeah, I got pulled over by immigration and when I went into Spain, I got pulled over by not over, but I had to be my bag got an extra check because I had a whole suitcase of supplements because when I travel, I have my colon, it locks up. Okay, Scorpio baby. Okay, Scorpio, we rule the colon and Scorpios they either rock solid or they struggling. They struggling with the colon. I'm one of the ones that struggle. And they thought my little canister of magnesium was cocaine. And they opened it up and tested it and everything. And this lady was like, "What do you do? Like, what is your job?" I'm like, "Well, I teach dance." I'm thinking to myself, "Oh my gosh, am I about to get arrested in Spain?" But other than that, flawless trip in while I was there, flawless. Like everything was just so good. I was on time and wow. Um, Now we'll say I came home on the 10th, so that was, like, right after Mercury retrograde started. Flawless. So just because it's Mercury retrograde doesn't mean travel is gonna be bad. Other people may have experienced some stuff, right? But I give thanks. Flawless travel, so I wanna give just say, "Hey," and I've seen it. My Some of my kids have had to travel during, Mercury retrograde, and I would be shivering, and it would be 0 problems. So that I can say. For me, the Mercury retrograde has had so much to do. I will say the hey Shamika, how are you? Glad to see you. And then Gobi and Baga, hello, hello. Um, so Mercury retrograded actually in my second house, which has to do with well, health and wellness as well as self-worth and self-value. And I'm telling y'all, I have really struggled with that during this Mercury retrograde. When I tell you the level of doubt, the level of self-doubt during this Mercury retrograde, and then it retrograded back into my first house, which is about the self also. Yeah, that has been something that I have like when I tell y'all deep into the darkness. It felt like my whole Mercury retrograde was in Scorpio, to be honest with you. I was just like, "Oh my goodness." I have really and truly just had a dark night of the soul during this Mercury retrograde. And, Mercury retrograde is the mind. And I remember one of the first readings that I got from my the man who's my teacher, Baba G. He pulled I know he pulled a dark decease, and I'm assuming he pulled the card of the mind because he was like, your dark decease is in your mind. You gotta manage the stinking thinking. It has to do with communication, just like Mercury. And so it was like it was like a demon. It was like a demon during this time. So, yeah, that was something that I dealt with. Didn't matter Sagittarius or Scorpio. The other thing that I found to be interesting, okay, right away during Mercury retrograde, my now well, this is a technological glitch. Everybody's gonna experience Mercury retrograde differently. Let me tell y'all. I had to do an astrology reading for somebody, or I had to generate a report for this person. And luckily, I had generated the report and I was going into my software, updating the description so that they reflect me and not the people that create these reports. It's just, I just wanted them to sound better. And because I was so sleepy while I was working on this, I did something and screwed up my astrology software. This was like, wow. So that's something I've had to deal with. But one thing that I have learned about Mercury retrograde is if a year ago, there was a theme that kicked off for you, for me, for everybody. There was something that kicked off a year ago, and you'll revisit it the following year. Now, I don't know how different it'll be. I think the themes that y'all want to be looking for is like what happened while Mercury was in Scorpio, because Mercury's going to retrograde in Scorpio next year. It's not going to be in let's see here. So it went into Scorpio on November the 18th. So anything that has happened since the 18th, you want to be thinking about, maybe you're going to revisit that. Even need to sit down and think about that. Um so yeah, last year what happened during Mercury retrograde was my laptop crashed. And when my laptop crashed, instead of getting another desk, or what's that called, Windows based system, I ended up getting a Mac. And my software, my astrology software, doesn't work on the Mac. And it was just grace that allowed me to be able to get the software re-uploaded, because they're very strict about you being able to upload the software on. They don't want you to be able to upload it on multiple computers for whatever reason, because my astrology teacher was having a problem too, with the exact same software. And he ended up having to buy something, but I was able to just get mine fixed based on my previous purchase. And I kept thinking all year long, I probably should upgrade. I probably should upgrade. Should I upgrade? I wonder if it's different. Like, is it really worth the upgrade? And I just didn't do it. Guess who had to upgrade? The lady. My software works perfectly except for this one, the thing that is the most important, which is the astrology reports. So the people at the company were like, you just need to reverse what you did. And I'm like, I don't even know what I did, because I was half awake, half asleep when I did it. And when I tried to fix it, I couldn't undo it. And so I had to upgrade, which is okay. It's okay. So, there we go. I had to revisit something that happened last year. Now, the other thing that I'll tell y'all is, Mercury is in the house of the body for me. Man, y'all, when I tell y'all I have had issues of the body, and I've had to recommit and rededicate and redevote myself. Oh my gosh. Mercury and Scorpio, they had me in a grip. They were like, you, Tyra, we're gonna get your attention. My colon issues have been at 100. I'm like, oh my God. Like, wow. That's all I got. Wow. And Scorpio represents plumbing. The first repair we ever had in this house was on the toilet. Every time we need some type of repair, it has something to do with plumbing. Both me and my husband are Scorpio, and I guess our house is like, well, I'm a Scorpio too. Our house is a Scorpio because we always have something going on with the plumbing. And now my bathtub, for whatever reason, it just all of a sudden it just started backing up. So I said, "Oh, Mercury in Scorpio, Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, respect, respect." Yes, your body is yelling at you too. CV, mm, Mercury in Scorpio. This has been, for lack of a better word, interesting. Very, very interesting. So yeah, when I tell y'all, I was sitting at looking at the clock, like, when is it over? Am I there yet? Am I there yet? I was so ready for Mercury to be done. I can't even begin to explain it. So yeah, we still have, and y'all let me know. So I see bodies. Thank you. Yes, I had an amazing time. You and me both, and taking me 3-day detox. I felt awful. Yes, bliss. Um, yeah, detox definitely is something that I would imagine a lot of people feel like they need, just complete detox and a reset, because Scorpio will help you to reset. And it may be up here in the mind because it's Mercury, or where you need to detox and reset. It's like you get all these ideas to do that. So, yeah, um, that is something that a lot of people might be experiencing. So we have 3 more weeks left, y'all, because we have to get to Mercury back to that 6th degree. Let's see here. Mercury gets back to the 6th degree. It'll be sometime in December. Well, of course, because today is the 29th, Tyra. Um, Maybe around November 12th, Mercury will that we just need to get to November 12th. So we'll be revisiting some things that have come up, and it's sort of like integration, resolution. So for those of us who are talking about our bodies, it's like, you know, "Oh, I know what I need to do, and now we're gonna be putting things in place." Um, Scorpio actually is strategy. And then Mercury in Sagittarius, it gives us a big vision, maybe a purpose. Um, we'll grow. We'll be able to grow and expand in order to make whatever these new changes are that need to happen. Um, there was something else I was going to tell y'all too that I think would be helpful. But yeah. Oh, this is what I was going to tell y'all. So I went to my nurse practitioner for my yearly checkup. This was during Mercury shadow period, the first shadow period, the first 3 weeks of Mercury retrograde. Um, and found out, I think it was this past week, that I'm back in pre-diabetic range. When I tell y'all, this has been such a hard Mercury retrograde, because the other thing is I have Saturn in Pisces right by my home point. Is called the IC. So it's on my IC. So whenever you have something on the IC or the MC, IC is home, MC is career, then something will happen. There will be something significant, because those are 2 points in your chart where there's going to be an activation. And also Pluto is right there with my career point. So that's opposite Saturn. Saturn has been like putting pressure on me. But I tell you, it made me, for the first time, be able to say, because it's on the home point, I've got to really make some significant changes with getting my kids' stuff out of here. I've done it a little bit, but I finally took down one of their beds because I was just like, it's not being used. My kids don't come home much. And so I could use this space for working out or whatever. It just opens up the energy a little bit. Um, but yeah, I got word that Um, I'm back in pre-diabetic range. I'm like and of course, I'm just right over the line, but it explains why I'm having so many other issues. And I mean, I'll admit, I really just, I don't know. I just have been feeling off center. I think that that's the number one thing I can say. And when I feel off center, it's been so off center that I just have kind of foregone working out, haven't fasted. Now I fast every day, but I have to fast for long periods of time, most of the time at the stage where I am. If you still have your period, you don't have to do all that, okay? Because like when you have your period, you can't be doing all that hardcore fasting, right? But I'm totally in menopause. And so for me as this body, my body is just like, you got to take a break from eating every day, Tyra. And I just was I mean, I traveled for 3 weeks solidly. When I tell y'all in Spain, there were times when I was eating at times and I was even confused, like, is this really off? Is it on? We went to this it's like, you go to this place and they kinda take people through rotations, and so our rotation started at 9 p.m. That was dinner, and then the flamenco show was at 10. I do not eat at 9 o'clock at night. It is so rare that I eat that late at night that it's like I just don't eat at that time. And so it was like, but is that really 9 o'clock in my body? But if it feels like it's 9 o'clock to me in Spain, and then I know I'm gonna go home and go to sleep, like I don't even know if should I eat now or should I not eat now? And there were just times that I would just have to be like, I just am gonna have to go without eating for a long period of time because I'm eating at weird, like for me, weird times. Um, I did do a lot of walking while I was there. When I was in Atlanta for the homecoming for Spelman, like I would just be in panic mode. Like we're eating at times that I don't typically eat. Like typically I need to be done with eating. Best case scenario, 12:30. Worst case scenario, 1:30 PM, 13:30. And so my system totally off. But that those numbers had to come they didn't come from Spain. They came from something, baby. They came from all year long. Because 'cause I'm like, "How am I back pre-diabetic?" So, yeah. Oh my god. I don't. Does anyone know of people who are into, or maybe you wanna share your detox? Um, for me, detoxing a lot of times has to do with giving your body a break. Um, because I just feel my position is we're all so sensitive and oh, let me make sure Instagram. We're also sensitive. Hi, Naya Kia, if you're over here still. We're also sensitive and it's like we really and truly kind of have to test to see what's good for detox. But detoxing a lot of times means that you're going to give your body a break from what you typically do. Um, and you're going to, like Scorpio is about purging. Like how do you get your body purged? And that could be in a number of ways. It could be you're going to eat in a super clean way, whatever that looks like for you. Maybe you want to use some type of supplements that help you to detox your body. Um, and yeah, I do have a lot of experience with supplements, but I don't consider myself to be somebody who is qualified to tell people what to do. But I'll tell you what those who are qualified have told me to do that have been tried and true. Um, I love magnesium. That helps me a lot, even though magnesium is good for other things. You do have to use a certain kind of magnesium. Like I think I use magnesium citrate. Um, Padiarco, PAUD apostrophe ARCO, Cascara Sagrada. Like I'm from the 1990s. This is tried and true for me from the 1990s because my first herbalist, this is all what I got from her. But I do believe in doing things like liver detoxes also. And so, let me see here. For the liver, lemon, maybe drinking some lemon water. I'm trying to think. What else do y'all do for liver detoxes? Like, yeah, purification of the blood. But you can do things too, like another form of detox is rebounding, jumping up and down. Um, Getting in the swimming pool so that the weight of the water presses down onto your body to, activate the lymph system. So that's another way that you can detox yourself. Dry body brushing helps with the lymph system, so you wanna get that lymph system detoxed. Um, Personally, I believe in having a small eating window. So whatever your eating window is, typically, you just wanna shorten it a little bit and have your body go longer without food. I personally do feel better when I have that longer, fasting window, and I just give my body a break. How have I not said this? Water. Drink more water. That's like one of the chief ways. I'm trying to think about this liver because I did work on my liver quite a bit once I got into perimenopause. Um, Definitely the lemon. I can't remember anything else. Let's see if anybody else. Okay. But Bliss gives her body a break, drinking nothing but water, lemon water, and some green tea. That gives her a major reset. And so I'm gonna tell y'all, Bliss is a Virgo. And so detoxing for each sign could be different. That's very Virgo-esque. Most Virgos I know, they're just like, I just don't consume much of anything. And that's actually very, very good uh for Virgo. Okay, good. I'm glad that you got some treats and meats. Yes, very good. Yes, you have to, your body will know. That is one of my number one, learnings, as I've aged throughout the years is exactly what, like, you feel lighter and all of that, and it helps you to detox. Eating foods that are as close to nature as is possible, and avoiding foods that are processed. Hmm. Yeah. The more simple, the better. Hey, how are you, queen? Glad to see you, Onara. Cranberry and pomegranate juice cleanse the kidneys and blood. Okay, good. Yeah, the cranberry for sure. I've used the cranberry for kidneys is real. Like, I even remember thinking I'm just using like something at the grocery store, and I'm like, cranberries are real. I personally can't eat anything that's red, but I think that, like, you can't go wrong with it. Man, Shamika, the food was incredible. I'm not gonna say I ate a lot of the Spanish food, um, in Barcelona because that's all I really know in Spain. Everybody is there, all foods are there. Actually, the best restaurant I went to was one with, um, what is it called? Mediterranean food. Man, I dream of that restaurant. And all of the waiters and waitresses were, deaf, and so it was just a very unique experience. It's the first restaurant I ate at when I was there. There was an African restaurant where we ate. The lady who brought us over hosted a dinner at an African restaurant, very Nigerian, in my opinion. It was very Nigerian. Maybe she had some food from Ghana, but it was very Nigerian. Excellent. Seems like there was one other restaurant that I really loved over there. The food at the flamenco place was really, really good. That's see, I was bad there. Let me not say I was bad. I was indulgent because I knew I hadn't eaten all day, and they had all kinds of sweets. I was like, "I'm sorry, y'all." I'm not gonna hold back on this time. Now the rest of the time, okay, I know what the 3rd thing is that I'm dreaming of. There was this bakery, and it had chocolate cake, and the friend who had brought us over, um, was the first one that told us. She got there before us, so she had kinda scoped things out, and she kept telling us about this chocolate cake, and I was doing everything I could to be strong, but then I was like, "You know what? I ain't go I don't know when I'm gonna come back. I gotta try this cake." And why did I do that? Woo, every day, one of us was going down there, or maybe more than one, to get that cake. I think I ate that cake at least 3 times while I was there. It was the best chocolate cake outside of my mother-in-law's Coca-Cola cake. That was the best chocolate cake. It was so good. One of the ladies who works there told me every day she is eyeballing that cake, and she has to tell herself, "Don't do it. Don't do it." And, I was drinking, I think it was called Cafe au lait, but it if it wasn't called that, it was something like that. Well, Cafe con leche, I guess is what it was. Um, me, Cafe con leche, chocolate cake. I think that was the last thing that I ate there. I was just like, "I don't care. I'm gonna do it." Because where I was, I just felt so safe. I didn't need anybody to be with me. I got out. I went, did a little shopping, and then I was like, "This is my last night. I gotta go get that cake." There's no shortage on food in Barcelona, Spain. They even have a mall that was right up the way from where I stayed. I think they said it was like the largest food mall somewhere. And I actually didn't go in because I was just like, you know what? You're going to eat later. Just let it go. Food, no shortage. Food is prepared very well. Um, wow. If you can ever, I've heard people, and people will go to Spain and say it's one of the most racist places they've been. But if you want to go somewhere in Spain, go to Barcelona because it is diverse, and all the food is there. Everybody's there. Everybody is there. You don't feel out of place. It felt like when I went to Mexico, I was just like, wow. It was Tulum. So let me just say, I don't know Mexico. I just know Tulum. When I got to Tulum, I was just like, everybody's here. Everybody is here. I just had a good time. My taxi driver, when I first got there, super nice. And he was explaining to me about what is this? I never got it because I just don't eat rice. Who knows what this is called for those who know this food in Spain? Starts with a P. I can't think of it, but it's something with rice and it's some type of meat with it. But I've been off rice for so long. I was just like, I'm sorry. If I'm gonna eat something, it's not gonna be something with rice. It's just not gonna be something with rice. I know someone who reversed prediabetes and cutting meats because cutting sugar didn't do much. Yeah, for me, everyone, it'll be something different. For me, it's at this point, it's not so much diet as it is I need to exercise more, and I just have to eat in a shorter window. I have to go long periods of time to give my body a chance to reset, but I can imagine somebody gave up meat to reverse their prediabetes. I don't like recommendations because everybody's body is different and what works for you. At 42, my body is constantly changing right now. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, this is a good one. Dandelion tea is good for the liver. Thank you. Yes, dandelion tea is another one. I've always recommended dandelion tea for liver detox. There's also capsules if you want to take the capsules. I appreciate it. I wanted to try the options outside of meats and treats. Oh, hi, Maia. How are you? My sister daughter. Okay. Be the light. Yes. Mediterranean food. Yeah, I haven't had Ethiopian in a long time, so I'm sort of like not remembering what it tasted like, but I remember liking it. But yeah, Mediterranean. If you ever go to Barcelona, you need this name of this restaurant. You need the name of this restaurant, trust me. I ate food that I didn't even know existed. It was the best. Oh, I did put out 2 videos, if you check out the videos that I've put out, well, actually, I guess you could say 3. There was one that I did while I was still there, where I was like, "Hey, I'll be leaving soon, and this is my thoughts about," you know, I just began to realize I need to appreciate where I am, but then I did talk about finding the Black Madonna. Now, I will say that was one of the major things, being in a state of feeling like yeah, yeah, feeling like I'm in a dark night of the soul. And before I even knew I was going to Spain, I was just kind of like, I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't know if what I'm doing is even a thing? Like, is this even real? And I know people tell me the results that they get when they work with me or whatever, but I was just so full of doubt. And I just have just been like, I need a sign that I'm on the right path because, yeah, all I have right now is I don't know. And then I end up at the Black Madonna of Montserrat, the second most visited Black Madonna. So I put out a video about, my experience with the Black Madonna. And of course, I cannot doubt what I'm doing. Who can doubt what they're doing after that happens? But I will say, Shamika, I do kind of want to share a little bit more because I have pictures and things like that. So I'll when with you saying that, I'm going to take that as a cue to put something together because at the end of the day, it's just interesting. I went to visit the Museum of Barcelona, and I didn't even know Rome had been there. I saw Roman ruins, and my mind was just blown. I was just like, what I'm looking at is 2,000 years old. When we went to Montserrat, I didn't recognize this, but one of the women who was there with us said, "Y'all, I've never been to the 1,000th anniversary celebration of anything." They were celebrating 1,000 years of this monastery at Montserrat. I was like, "Say what?" Me either. So yeah, I'm gonna share. I will do that. Thank you for saying that. Travel vlog coming. I agree. I do love sharing, Maia. That's it, paella. Thank you, Margot. Paella. I was like, I ain't eating paella. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Too much rice. Forget about it. Yes, check them out. That's where I am. Been a quite a while, too long for a while. Yes. So, what are you gonna do, goddess? Mercury is direct, and now we've got to integrate whatever has come up during this Mercury retrograde. Um, I mentioned to somebody, we have until 2027. The astrology is on 100 until or through 2027. So we need to take these junctures and make the most of them because it's probably preparing us for something that is to come. Okay. Alrighty. Well, thank y'all for being here. Can't post comments. Oh, okay. Thank y'all for being here. I appreciate y'all. It's been so nice to connect because I do feel disconnected when I don't go live every Wednesday. But that's one of the reasons I haven't been going live. It's just been kind of like I don't. It's what am I doing? What am I doing? And I know I have something to say because I've been making videos. But yeah, just getting that all together. So I'll give myself another 3 weeks, but it has been good being here with you all. So maybe I'll just go live a little bit more spontaneously and gotta get gotta get the laptop. Gotta put my new software on there, my upgrade, because I was like, I'm not doing it before Mercury goes direct. Not doing it. Mercury needs to be direct before I put this on there. Um, let's see here. What else do I want to share with you all? Mm, yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it. All right. Thank y'all so much. I wish you all the best. Happy detoxing to everybody who's going to be detoxing. And yeah, I love y'all. I'll connect again soon. All right. Y'all take care. Bye bye.